So the question I probably ask the most is like, if someone listening is thinking about brewing their first batch, like what is your basic advice for them? Like where should they start? What should they buy? Go with a kit?
Yeah, I mean, um, I would say if it's your first time, don't worry about all grain. I think you get a flavor of what all grain is like with 5% of the work by doing an extract batch with steeping grains and a little hop sock or
Hmm.
whatever. Um, Start with a forgiving style. Don't try and change the world with a Doppelbock your first brew. So go extract. I would get a simple. I like brew-in-a-bag. That's what I did. I moved to all-in-one system, indoor system. I love that. It's great. I can brew in the winter, and brewing in the winter, the upside that people forget is the groundwater is super cold. So
Hmm.
if you do wort chilling with an immersion chiller, super fast, and none of the pains of being outside. So yeah, all in one or brew in a bag, extract. Start with forgiving styles. I think ales are the way to go. Don't
Hmm.
don't try a lager necessarily. I think stouts are an easy place to start, or if you're if you're not overly discerning, I think IPAs are very forgiving because just throw a shit ton of hops and
Hmm.
you'll be all right.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've also heard people recommend like brown ales is a good one to start with too, right?
Yeah,
It's a
no, brown ales are great too.
pretty forgiving overall. What are some common mistakes that new brewers should try to avoid?
Um, I think the instinct, my experience at least was as soon as you start learning about like all the specialty malts and all the hops, you're like, more is better. Maybe that's just a very American perspective, but like I think the wisdom with brewing for a decade or more is less is more,
Hmm.
basically. And you come to realize a base malt, one or two specialty malts, 1 to 2 hops, and your go-to yeast. There's a million yeasts, and there's like 3 variations depending on who your supplier is.
Enter.
I'm very happy to just use dry yeast mostly, and I have like 3 dry yeast I like. You don't need to be, the more you try and do, the less you focus on process,
Mm.
which if
Yeah.
you're gonna keep up with brewing, pay attention to your process,
Hmm.
take good notes, evaluate your beer and pay attention to that. That's the way I think to hone your skill as a brewer.
I
And
agree
don't
with
don't
that.
overcomplicate it with ingredients.
So I guess this is not a piece of advice, it's more just a question I'm kind of curious about. What are your three go-to yeast you like to use?
I love USO5, 3470,
Okay.
and then um I don't know. I've been using the BE 135 for Belgian beers, and
Okay.
I'm pretty happy with that. That's got good expression and attenuation. Um, I like O4
Hmm.
for English ales where you want some fruity esters, and um, I think that flocks pretty well, which can be nice. I like to gelatin. I like to cold crash and add gelatin for clear beer.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I like beer to be clear. Flocculation isn't a yeast characteristic I
Mhm.
pick and choose for
Right. There
necessarily.
you go.
But yeah,
Uh,
mainly '05 and 3470 carry
3470.
me.
Okay, perfect, man. What is one piece of conventional home brewing wisdom that you think is just overrated?
Overrated. I feel like it's a risky thing to like potentially steer, especially newer brewers, in the wrong direction.
Right.
But I think I was like the conventional wisdom is like sanitize everything, be super careful, and that's absolutely true. But it's a little bit less pertinent pre-boil because once you boil, everything should be okay. I used to like try and freaking like sterilize everything, and then like half the time it ended up, boiling and stuff, and it's like you need to be extra careful on, the second half of the brew day, but I think sanitation during like the mash and pre-boil is a little bit not where I would focus my energy and anxieties and those kind of things, right?
For sure. For sure. No, that's a great answer. I love it. Thank